Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, gamers and friends. Tonight we have a very special evening of Vodafone Play Talks. We are going to speak with industry leaders of esports about the esports phenomenon. To my right, we have Vlad Marinescu, President of the International Esports Federation. How are you doing, Vlad?
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you for being here. Also, we have Boban Totovski, Secretary General of the International Esports Federation. How are you doing, Boban?
Excellent. Very excited to be here.
Glad to have you here as well. Gentlemen, we're going to deep dive into the phenomenon of esports, as I have been saying. We are present at the World Esports Championship 2023. And I'm going to start with something very light. What got you firstly into esports, and what made you fall in love with this phenomenon? Vlad, I think I will start with you first.
First of all, I want to say thank you very much for the invitation. We'd like to very much thank our partner Vodafone for ensuring we're connected at a high speed so our gamers and players and fans can watch the action, play the action. It's the most interesting element of what we do in our industry is the fact that the physical birth conditions and educational advantages that humans have to each other, being tall or short or being able to run fast or swim quickly, don't affect the outcome in esports. In esports, everybody is equal. And depending on the amount of energy and passion and effort they put into their training or preparation, every person from everywhere around the world can compete on the highest level, has the same advantage. You're not going to be a very good basketball player if you're 1 meter 20. At the same time, being an esports player enters you into a community where you leave your virtual, let's say, associations, and you enter the digital space, allowing you to be friends with and socialize with people from all walks of life and from all areas. With esports, we truly break borders.
Thank you. Boban, what made you fall in love with the esports phenomenon? Take us through it.
Well, I have been a gamer my entire life, from Commodore 64 times in the past, starting with Tetris. I don't even know, half of the kids probably don't even know that. And slowly going into media, communications. I had an opportunity to visit the first World Cyber Games, not first, the first World Cyber Games I was in Singapore 2005. And there were more than 40 countries present there with the flags presenting, so that was 18 years ago. And the moment I felt the energy on the stage and in the audience, how everybody was feeling proud to be there, happy and excited, that's the moment when I realized that this is going to be huge, this is going to be sports, and that I want to be part of it. So since then, I'm 18 years in a row now actively working on this type of competitions, this kind of ecosystem, representing your country in esports, and I must say that he has developed quite a lot.
That's quite a while that you've been right hand involved into esports. From your perspective, what has been the journey of esports so far since you got involved with it, from its beginning and to what it is today?
Well, it evolved from casual gaming in internet cafes to an event with huge stages, huge popularity, huge viewership, salaries beyond recognition or any logic, because everything depends on how much you bring on the table as value. Now, what we are trying to do is, as esports community representing their countries, to bring adult values to the table, not only financial values or being a celebrity type of values, but at this moment, the critical value that we need to empower with our ecosystem is peace. Peace and unity. And these are the things that IESF is focusing now on and trying to make relevant enough for the ecosystem, for everybody to understand that besides the fact, as our president said, that esports is a genderless sport, it also has the power to bring people together. We had on our General Assembly countries like Iran and Iraq shaking hands. Syria was present on that same General Assembly. So there are a lot of people that I saw all ex-Yugoslavia sitting next to each other. Bosnia, Serbia, even Kosovo was there, Croatia. And it's a picture worth seeing that actually it can get people together and truly make peace.
Inclusivity seems something that we all strive from, especially us at the International Esports Federation, right? And Vlad, regarding this subject, what is the #1 priority for esports right now? What are we missing?
I wouldn't say we're missing anything. I would say that we are together and we need to be united. In the opening speech, I made a comment about 3 different words that I think resemble a lot of what we have been going through our journey. We've undergone a huge transformational journey.
Yeah.
I think normally when you develop or evolve, you think things get easier as you become more professional or bigger. Turns out that with people who are passionate, like our entire team, the entire team of the IESF, which has been here for 3 weeks, going on 1-2 hours of sleep a night, trying to fix problems and solve issues to ensure a great environment for the gamers and the athletes and the delegations, is really fueled by a dream. The first word that I said is you have to dream. But you can't dream unless you have a team. So our team, with the local team as well, that has been provided, Nexus alongside all the city of Iași and the administration, the authorities and the public, the volunteers, and of course, the people of Iași, is the team. The most important third element of that is values. Coming from martial arts is you. We're coming also from martial arts, and many of our team is coming from martial arts. The values of respecting one another are vitally important to achieving the objectives in a way that ensures friendship and unity and peace that our General Secretary mentioned a second ago. So what are we missing? We're missing probably to not dream so much, to not want to do so much, to not want the best for everybody.
In a short time.
But even though this dream that we have, which is what we're missing to extinguish from our demand, to make sure always that everyone has what makes them happy and feels that extra energy, I think we're willing to sacrifice ourselves and our dignity sometimes and to do jobs that aren't our jobs, maybe, with the perspective of giving a result to the world to watch that esports is a sport, that it's an activity that unites people, that takes skill and perseverance in order to achieve on the highest level.
Definitely. We know that we can also do this in two different ways. There is also the private model of doing esports and is the Federate model of doing esports, such as we are doing right now. Can you highlight the advantages of the private model also in comparison to the Federate model as well?
You remember the second word, right?
Yeah.
What was the second word? Team.
Right.
There's no such thing as an advantage or a disadvantage. It's about cohesion. And I can tell you that we are now in Romania. This event is shaking the world. This is an event that has been supported, launched, and fully developed by the city of Iași, of course, with the great support from the Mayor Chirica and from the Vice Mayor Juravle on the event and all the city's council administration. The rest of the country needs to come to the support and the aid and the development of this activity, because it's not only the image of Iași that is being sown around the world as the capital of esports, but people are eating here zakuska and sarmale and drinking palinka and having the Romanian experiences. We're sharing the Romanian culture and values with the world. And the spearhead is Iași. Having, of course, the private side is equally important, but you cannot separate the two. You need to combine the two because they both bring their advantages, and together they reach the target. Team reaches the target.
Definitely. I agree with you. And I would take it into cultures and values aspect as well, because us as Romanians, we have been fighting for a while to legislate esports to being a sport, a national recognizable sport. How do you feel about esports being a sport in general? Is it mandatory? Is it needed?
It's necessary. So, first of all, you have to go through what defines a sport. What makes a sport? A sport is an activity by which people can compete against one another on a rule set with a target of victory that takes skill, perseverance, and dignity, solidarity, values. These esport athletes that are here, these 600 plus esport athletes from over 110 countries, specifically 111 countries,
Yes.
are training for this, are appreciated and followed in their countries. They've come here to the largest event ever in the history of Romania in terms of number of countries, in order to win the gold medal and represent their nation and let their nation shine in a peaceful way, promoting the unity, building the bridges, exactly what sport was originally meant for.
Yeah.
Sport is a method for us to compete against each other in a way that motivates and shows human excellence. Now, is esport a sport? for me, as a sportman, having grown up in sport my whole life, 100% it's a sport. And esports deserves the recognition and the friendship and the support and the love from the sporting community. But as I said before, the second word was team. We need to enforce and to teach the values that traditional sport teaches in esports. By welcoming the esport community to the sporting family, we have that exchange. And that will develop the future in a more positive way for the entire humanity. So definitely today, gaming is happening. Have no doubt about the fact that more than 3 billion people on the face of the earth are gaming. That's not going to stop. That will never stop, and that will always continue. Sport is the way to allow the athletes to be respected and bring them into an environment that includes the educational values of physical competencies, social competencies, and moral competencies. It's together that we are stronger, and it's by attracting and accepting and welcoming esports to the sport family that you can properly ensure the betterment of humanity. And I'm not the only crazy person thinking this. Sweden, besides this other crazy person and the rest of our teams, Sweden government in the parliament passed the law that esports is sport. Esports is sport in many countries around the world. We have 140 member national federations. How many of them are sport?
62.
So 62 countries have done this. Why is Europe reluctant to make this step? It's not. It's a question of time. It's a question of getting there. And I think we'll get there.
It's also
We sure will.
It's also a question about challenges. We are trying to overcome challenges every day. Boban, what would you say is one main challenge or a challenge for the International Esports Federation moving forward with events at this magnitude and with its initiatives that it has already?
Well, challenges. We're not seeing them as challenges. We're seeing them as objectives and opportunities. And as Vlad mentioned, our dreams are a bit above the line. And we always want to do the best and bring everybody here. I mean, if you just try to imagine bringing people from 120 countries in 3 days in Iași that only has 4 flights a day and fit them in 9 hotels, that's let's say a challenge technically, but for us it was a mission that we had to do, and we did it. We managed. We brought everybody in, all the countries that were participating. So it's one of the small things that's part of this. Then you have registration process and getting everybody to do their national qualifiers. It takes a lot of communication with all the countries and all the federations. And embracing different cultures is also something that is very interesting in this job, because when you discuss with people from South America, North America, it's different. Africa, 3 different, let's say not mentalities, but 3 different communication areas that you need to understand. In Europe, you know Europe, how divided and how different the Nordics are from the Balkans or from the Eastern European or from Spain and Portugal, which are more Latin than European. And then when you go into Asia, it's also very different. And we like that. We know that. Now we know how to approach each and every of our members, because we want to show respect to them, that we communicate in their time zone. Especially New Zealand is the best, because it's always 3 or 6 a.m. in our countries. So that's why our job is like, when we hire someone, what are the working hours? There are no working hours, you know. It's like starts January 1st, 000, finishes 31st December. 5 minutes break, and then we go again, just to, you know, pop the fireworks.
It's so interesting. You mentioned you fragmented.
Let me add one
Go
thing,
ahead.
just really quickly. We had our OGM, the Ordinary General Meeting, that took place. And to see there 110 countries present, expressing their opinion, expressing their culture, what Boban just mentioned, expressing their feedback, the feedback that they have according to their education and upbringing, and there to share and to unite and to democratically allow everyone to express their opinion. We voted 44 resolutions on all different kinds of topics regarding organization and the events. What I want to say is we're united in one international federation, because although there are different cultures and languages and time zones, they all speak the language of esports.
Again, it's interesting you took it to a fragmented level. We are talking about 111 countries being here, 160 nations being in the International Esports Federation, right, Vlad?
140.
140.
But probably you just made the new bar.
Did I make an announcement?
So now
Set the target for next year.
you set the target. Next year when we have this talk, it'll be 160, correct?
It'd be my pleasure to introduce that fact.
Correct, if I survive. Pending survival.
Then I find the right opportunity to look towards those 20 plus, right? Because I have a pretty important questions. If you look at a nation level, out of all the 140 nations, what should they do? Not better, but what should they do generally to work towards a brighter future towards esports in their own nation?
Every country is different. Every country has different types of objectives and different kinds of strengths and weaknesses and opportunities and threats, not to quote the SWAT exactly. But what is interesting is that when we speak about national federations in their country, we must remember they existed in their country before we existed. These people have been, for many years, specifically South Africa, Mind Sports South Africa, presided by Mr. Colin Webster, who used to be also IESF president before, was made 40 years ago, 4-0. The today topic of being casual and diva to talk about esports and everybody knows something about esports. Every person that's never played a game knows more about esports than people that have. Need to remember that these national federations, they've been doing this. They've been the gamers. They've been playing games. They've been organizing tournaments. They've been doing this activity. So I think that, in my opinion, and I look forward to what Boban will add, it's all about synchronicity and having such events here in Yash where we bring together everyone and we share our opinions and we now our ongoing educational activities that we're doing for all the national federations and all the players. We're teaching players what sports are, what meditation is, what's good for them to do, that they are then reverberating to their followers and their communities and people that respect them, the children. We're sending these messages of health and well-being and values to the community, to the world. We're achieving more in these 14 days plus minus with sharing these messages, cohesion between the countries, sharing who is doing what well, and growing from it.
I would just say from personal experience, because I also have developed a federation in Macedonia, which is officially recognized also as sport. The most important thing is to listen to the community, support the community, and educate the community, the esports community, because they are your core. That's the reason why we exist. So the federation doesn't exist just to be there, just to present the country. That's one of the byproducts of the federation. The core is to organize the community into a structure where they can compete, where they can earn rights, where they can get, I don't know, in the future, health insurance. For example, when they win a medal and they go back home, they're heroes, they're official, they get payment, they get support from the government, and that will boost everything. So you can add to it physical education, you can add boot camps, you can make them conditions for practicing and spreading this as a movement, because esports is here to stay. It's not gonna just go away. It's not one of the, let's say, 200, I mean, people are still throwing spears. So I think that esports will have a longer life than throwing spears. So that's the key thing. And after that, next level, they need to start international competitions, because there are players here that they experience this first time in their life. There are players here from Africa, from South America and Asia, parts of Asia. Timor-Leste is here. The guy from Timor-Leste is the happiest person. Last year in Bali, it was the guy from Senegal. He was the happiest person there. To be there, to see the community, to see the world, to meet cultures that he never thought he watched them on television. And now they're here. And they're discussing and they're exchanging ideas and competitions. So if that's not a value, I don't know what else is.
That makes me to tell you that the family of the International Esports Federation has at its heart the players, the people that are putting everything together to make this happen. Definitely also you. You are very busy people. But I want to take it to a fun side. What are you most excited for at the event coming through? We know we have the concerts in the weekend, right? 1 to 3rd. Armin van Buren is coming here. What are you looking forward towards that is fun, Boban?
Remember, there's a camera there and you have a microphone in your hand. It says General Secretary on your shirt.
Yeah. We went to the fun part, so I cannot officially confirm or deny that I ever had fun on an esports event.
It's your turn. Uh, Honestly, the fun part for us is going to be to see the finals being attended and watched by the public, by the city. The fun part for me is walking through the crowd and seeing them talk and say, "Oh my goodness, parents, children, young, old, families. Everybody is here. 8,000 people were present in front of the castle watching main stage, opening ceremony, and games. If we could fit more people, we can't do it. The fun part for me is when I get a call from friends asking me, please, can I find a hotel room? There are no rooms in Iași or in the surrounding cities. That's the fun part. The fun part for me is saying we had 300 drones, which sets a record for the most drones in a ceremony or an event in Romania ever.
Yeah.
The fun part for me is a little bit showing off and enjoying that all this hard work that we're doing has a result.
2% of Iași's population was present at our event, at your event, right? Now, what would you say in terms of Romania and the Federation of Romania that is coming to be in the future? What can we do to set a foothold in the family of esports?
Yeah, that's my job. I will not go into specific details what they exactly need to do. Yeah, I have all the articles, membership application process, but apparently we left the fun part, so we're back to work now. Well, as I said, they need to engage with the audience and they need to be out there talking to each and every one of them. They need to create a platform where people can communicate with them. We all know, I mean, it's easy. You create a page, you create social media platforms. You need to hire a few people to be able to manage and work on that. So you can have the community talk and ask, how can we participate? How can we represent our country? You need to give them the tools and the opportunity. And also the best thing that everybody does is hold national qualifiers or national league. Like, for example, we have in Macedonia since 2016. Every year we have a league, competition, people compete, and the best from the league or the competition represents the country. Whether it's European Championship, whether it's the World Championship, or some smaller, now we will have Adriatic, now Mediterranean Federation will create. There will be quite a lot of opportunities for international competitions, and that by itself helps build the community. I'll give you the example of Macedonia. I am taking teams from Macedonia since 2005. First time we ever won something was 2 years ago in Eilat. We won gold medal in Counter-Strike against a country, it's called Romania. And
What happened this year?
Romania.
What happened this year?
This year it was raining, so we are not water resistant. This year we lost from Serbia and Denmark, so we are out of the competition. But besides that, the value that this created actually helped our government to make the final decision to recognize us as official sport. Because when our guys came back to Macedonia, they were heroes to all the kids. Gold medal, one. Then in Bali, another gold medal, 2 in a row. It's easier. Now we have sponsors. I cannot say the name because of, but we have sponsors in our country. So it changes. It helps a lot develop. And with that, now it will grow. So it was a struggle for 17 years, but then it came, now it's easier. You don't have to wait 17 years because everybody has internet, everybody can see how it works. And once you give them the opportunity, they will take it.
Surely we have a lot of models to follow, especially Macedonia's, right? Coming to a conclusion to our show, coming to an end, I would like to ask you, how do you see the future of esports in general, and how is it associated in the future of the International Esports Federation?
Well, I'll start. Well, we developed this year a slogan in our federation called United Nations of Esport. And that's the future of esports that I see. Besides all the business and the private sector that you asked about, that's something that's going to exist forever. Of course, it's a business. It creates some value also. But what I believe is that esports is a tool that can truly bring people together, because you will never find a good, I know there is a movie for Jamaica bobsled team, but you will never find a representative from all countries in the world in all sports, so they can connect. Esports offers that opportunity. Every country can send a representative in almost all titles that exist, because it's easily accessible to everyone. There are areas in the world that don't have proper internet, computers and PlayStation, but this is what we need to work on. Help them have the conditions to play and compete, and then participate. And hopefully, in the next 5 years, the next World Championship will have 200 countries present and set all the possible records that are in the world to show how powerful esports is.
And I'll add to that in conclusion. I see the future as understanding more this community, that more parents understand what's happening with their kids that are gaming, and that more kids are better educated and prepare us for the job of tomorrow. So it's clear that esports and gaming prepares the people who are playing for tomorrow. In tomorrow's job, computers and technology are a influential, integral part of everything we do. In the COVID time, we were at home alone. We were socially distancing. What saved us was technology, to be able to connect with people, to be able to work with a different type of video chatting system. What gave us happiness in that time was gaming, being able to see your friend and play a game together using the internet. So even during that time, it's been noted that the people's happiness was affected by that. So segueing from that, I think the objective is to continue giving people happiness responsibly. Responsible gaming is esports, and esports will be united more and more. And I see in the future, through the Federation and through our total unity from all levels and the cooperation with all of the other traditional sports, promoting one another and growing together, that we're going to have a better future.
Gentlemen, thank you, Vlad, Boban. Thank you as well to everybody that was watching us throughout the days and today as well. We're going to meet each other tomorrow again. I am going to be here as well. Santa, your host, as every night. Thank you for watching and catch you later. Thank you, gentlemen, again.
Thank you very much.